Greetings, fellow sad girl. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope that you are ready for a sad girl lit moment. I am very intrigued by sad girl lit. Like, I feel like it's such a moment. I love having an emo moment. So this video has just been calling my name. I had a lot of fun also curating this TBR. That being said, I have 5 books. There's 4 here, but 1 is on my Kindle. So if you're excited, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and let's talk about some books. The TBR for this video, the first one is All's Well by Mona Awad, and I will pop up a picture here. This is the one that I have on my Kindle. Mona Awad just gives weird fever dream, but an absolute queen in her writing. And this is a sad girl lit book because our main character is not a happy baddie. I've read the first chapter of this book. So basically, this book takes place in an academia setting. They're at a university, and our main character teaches theatrical studies. She's very paranoid. She definitely errs on the side of paranoia. She is not a happy person because she really suffers from chronic pain. Extremely pessimistic point of view from what I've read so far, and unhappy in her life. But basically the premise of this book is she's trying to, each semester or whatever it is, they put on a play. She's worried that her students are turning against her and essentially that they're going to act out a play that she doesn't want to do. She wants to do one certain play, and I think the students want to do Macbeth. I really never know how to give coherent synopsi for Mona Awad's works. Like, if you try to give a synopsis for Bunny, it's not gonna happen. Overall, Mona Awad is a sad girl moment. The second book that I cannot freaking wait to get to is My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh. This is about our main character, who is a recent Columbia graduate, works an easy job at a hip art gallery, lives in an apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, paid for, like the rest of her needs, by her inheritance. But there's a hole in her heart, and it isn't just the loss of her parents, or the way her Wall Street boyfriend treats her, or her sadomasochistic relationship with her best friend, Riva. It's the year 2000 in a city agglitter with wealth and possibility. What could be so terribly wrong? She's supposed to be happy with her life. Like, she has all these things that most people would worry about if they didn't have, like financial stability, a job, an education. It sounds like she doesn't have any student debt. What's that like? She's still not happy. And from what I've heard of this book, she essentially just tries to sedate herself for a year, and it's just a downward spiral. It sounds like a very unique and interesting read. I'm so curious about this book, and I feel like it's gonna be an experience. I wanted to throw this in here because I feel like it's a kind of tragic, classic love story, and where the other books are really focused on, you know, girly mental health, and same with All's Well, this one is more of just, again, like a tragic love story type vibe, and that is Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. I mean, this cover, I can't deal with how much I love it. I'm just gonna read you the first sentence of this book and tell me that it doesn't give sad girl lit vibes. It was inevitable. The scent of bitter almonds always reminded him of the fate of unrequited love. These are the books. I am ready for an emotional sad girl time. Hi sad girls, I have a sad girl update. I'm gonna stop saying that now. Last night I started reading All's Well, and I read the first 75 pages. We are in the head of our main character. She's very negative, she's pessimistic, but she has a lot going on. So she suffers from chronic pain, which is something that's really difficult, and so she's saying that she's struggling with really getting diagnosed and then getting a treatment that's actually helping her, which is tough, right? When you feel as though you're in constant pain, that really psychologically has a negative effect on you. Even still, like, she's not a nice person. She thinks very negatively, and she's very paranoid about everyone around her. She keeps saying that her students are mutinous because they don't want to put on the play All's Well That Ends Well. They want to put on Macbeth instead. Our main character is like unhinged. Like, she's just kind of like losing it, and she's like spiraling. I'm kind of picturing it like a play in my head, although it's not written as a play at all. And it's so cool. Like, Mona Awad just has such a unique way of writing. It's not even magical realism. It's just weird. We'll see how it continues to spiral because things are already getting weird, and it's Mona Awad, so I know that things are just gonna get weirder and weirder. Hi bestie queens, I have some updates about All's Well because I am now 40% of the way through this book, and I am loving this feminist manifesto of beautifulness. I ended up looking up an analysis of this book because I feel like Mona Awad at times I get lost in the sauce, you know, I need some help, and I'm not afraid to admit that. But I do love her writing. Like, I read Bunny, I loved Bunny. That is probably another sad girl lit book, to be honest, if you're looking for more sad girl lit recommendations. Miranda just describes her pain a lot, like throughout this book, and it's a first person perspective. Like, mentally, sis is going through some hard times. Knew that going into it, but it was especially difficult to read, I would say the first 75 pages. And then I kept going. There is definitely a turning point. I want to say at about page 100 or 120, somewhere in there, and I was living. I was living. Her turning point, I was like, yes, Miranda Queen, get it. Like, I'm so happy for you. So that's happening, and then I read the analysis. It was so helpful because it really put into perspective. This is a little bit spoilery for the book, so if you'd like, I'll leave a timestamp of where you can skip to if you don't want to hear any of this. But it's really just talking about what's happening in the first third of the book. I was questioning, is she a reliable narrator? She's high on painkillers all the time. She's also drinking on these painkillers. She is borderline suicidal at this point. The people that she's talking to, she kind of has this inner dialogue for them of things that they're not actually saying out loud. That's more of a truthful or blunt way of what they're saying. She says it in her head. Especially when she was meeting with the doctors, all of her doctors are like, pain is all in your head, it's not actually manifesting, you need to get past this. Like, all of these things, all of these male doctors and physical therapists that she's meeting with are completely not listening to her, first of all, and second of all, dismissing her pain, dismissing her ailments, not taking her seriously. Then I read the analysis that this scenario that's happening is a critique or a commentary on women's pain not being valid and being dismissed and like just not being taken seriously. I am just along for the journey, and we're gonna see where it takes us. Hey y'all. I haven't read too much more, but I just got into part 2, and I just wanted to give a couple updates because they're fresh in my mind. First of all, like, still obsessed. I'm really loving this book a lot more than I thought I was going to, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not buying the physical copy of this book because I borrowed it through my Libby app, and now I really, really want to just be like annotating and tabbing it. I just really love Mona Awad's voice in her writing. I think it's very distinctive. I love the character transformations. Like, if you've read Bunny, which I know is more popular than I think than All's Well, the transformations that take place in that book are just unfounded, out of nowhere, but beautiful nonetheless. And really, it's such a stark contrast in All's Well from the mentality of our character Miranda to even just now in part 2. It's like it's a different person. The transformation is really just crazy. She's being so like passive aggressively shady to certain people. The people who were very, like, they were never directly mean to her, but they said some very blunt things that were a little bit insensitive. But now they're mad at her, like, happiness. Like, they're mad that she's doing so well. And there's this one character in particular, her name is Grace, and she's one of Miranda's coworkers, who, she wasn't like the happiest person, but she was better off than where Miranda was to begin with. And now that Miranda is just shining, like, she's just loving her life, she's not in pain anymore, she's having fun with the play, they're doing all's well, like, all of those things, Grace is just really salty. Their dialogue that I just read at the end of chapter 16 was so funny because Miranda's just like being passively aggressively salty to Grace, and rightfully so. Like, I'm glad that she kind of dealt it back to her. At first, I really wasn't sure if I was rooting for Miranda or not, and now I'm like rooting for her. Check in soon. Hey Sadie Baddies, I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I do apologize that I've been doing all of my updates from this place at my desk. Next update, I promise I will switch things up. I have some updates on All's Well, and also I'm having a very synchronistic alignment moment. I'm listening to, I love Jay Shetty's podcast called On Purpose, and I just listened to his episode where he's talking to Lily Reinhardt, and she really suffers with chronic fatigue and a lot of anxiety. And there were a couple tidbits that she said in this podcast that really resonated with me, especially at this moment in time, meaning like where I am with my life and stuff like that, because I've been feeling a bit burnt out. If you watched my last vlog that I did for the full moon readathon, I was nervous to share that because I was very anxious and like not mentally in a great place that week. And she had this little tidbit that she said, I feel like I've been living in fight or flight mode for a significant amount of time, and I'm trying to break my body and my brain out of that mindset and just be. And it's really difficult. It's really, really difficult to be able to sit in stillness. Like, for example, have a day where you have no plans. It's just an empty day, and you feel like you have to fill it with something. You feel like you need to do something to have that day be productive in whatever capacity that means for you. You can never fully recharge when you're functioning like that. And that was just a really aha moment for me, because that's exactly how I've been functioning lately. Every single day, even if it's like an empty day, meaning, you know, it's a weekend day and I don't have any plans, I feel like I have to do something. And the other point that she brought up on that topic was also to be able to just sit in your feelings. If you're feeling emotional in any way that isn't positive, like you're not happy, you're not joyful, you're not peaceful, you're not calm, that is okay. It was divine timing for me to listen to this podcast because I've really had an emotional journey with All's Well. I'm not gonna lie, when I first started reading that book, the mentality of our main character in the first couple chapters was extremely, extremely difficult for me, and I almost DNF'd it, but I was like, you know, let's just experience this. Like, let me just be uncomfortable in this for a little while. And now I'm obsessed with it. Like, I am loving the analytical side to this book. I'm very happy with the experience that I'm having with this book, and I'm glad that I pushed myself so deep. I apologize for getting so deep. And yeah, I will check in a little bit. Hello, if you can hear that noise, they're like power washing our stuff outside, like our windows and whatnot. Last night I read up to 80%. There's like so many things going on. I love that our main character,
I don't even know how to process my thoughts at this point.
Basically, we've been prepping for this play this entire time. They've been doing rehearsals, and obviously our main character has gone through a complete 180 transformation with her personality, with her thoughts, with her like everything. We are at opening night for the play, and I am so excited. I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, I have no idea how this book is gonna end. I just have so many thoughts on this book, and it's really hard for me to talk about it at this point because I don't want to give any spoilers away. I'm noticing all of the little details that Mona Awad has taken into consideration when giving us this entirely different character. I'm so excited to get to it. So I am 80% of the way through right now, and my goal is to finish this today. I'm so sorry. I know that this power washer is like the most annoying thing in the entire world. Chapter 29 of this book. I am speechless. I am speechless! And I can't say anything because I don't want to spoil it. But oh my god. This book is the most suspenseful book I've ever read in my entire life. It's so weird. Like, Mona Awad just keeps you on your toes because you literally have no fucking clue where the book is gonna go, like, to begin with. So it's already so weird, and there's no coherent like plot line. Like, I feel like Mona Awad doesn't really write in a linear plot sequence always. Actually, I feel like she kind of writes in a cyclical sequence, but that's beside the point. I have 23 minutes left in this book and I need to finish it. I haven't had a reaction like that in a really long time, and I'm literally losing my mind. Okay, talk soon. Hello friends, it's been, I don't know, a couple days since I last checked in. However, I wanted to give a couple updates, a couple different updates here. So I finished All's Well. Really, my last check-in for that book was right before I finished it, and I was freaking out. Like, the ending of that book was so fantastic, but really, overall, I loved All's Well. I loved the themes of it. I loved the writing style. I mean, I mentioned I was just like fully invested. It was a very entertaining book. Like, just loved it so much. So I gave it 5 stars. Literally loved it, and I cannot wait to start my next sad girl book. I've asked if you guys want some like home updates included in these vlogs, and this week I have quite a few things that are coming for the house, and then also I'm about to go to Target and buy some stuff, so I figured I would just include it in this vlog because why not? So I'm about to head to Trader Joe's to go food shopping, but then I'm going to go to Target as well, and I'm going to be getting stuff to revamp our entryway. So as you can tell, this area is very bare and I hate this area here. So I'm gonna be getting things to decorate this little table, this entry table, and make it more functional for like what we need it for. Like, we need a place to put shoes, we need things to store JMO's leashes and stuff, and then I just hate this thing. It's very small and also very like unappealing. So I'm gonna get probably a mirror to go there. So we're gonna be decorating this space. The first thing that I got, which is unrelated to the entryway, but I need more pillows for my couch. I got this really massive throw pillow that is so soft and so comfy. So that's the first thing. Then I got a bunch of little stuff. So I got this plant because I wanted something green. I try to have something green in each of my spaces in my house because it just makes me feel happy. So I got this little, I don't know, like fake olive tree. Then I got this little dish for our keys because I don't like, this little thing has a place for us to hang up our keys, but I don't want keys to be like a focal point of this entryway, and also I'm gonna take that thing down. So this little wooden bowl I thought was a really nice like textured piece, and we'll put our keys in here. I couldn't help myself and I got another one of these fall candles. Bath & Body Works, like, who even is she? We love these Target candles for our fall scents. So I have the cider and cinnamon one, and then I have a like pumpkin something one, and this one is Harvest Festival with notes of pumpkin and clove, and this smells like fruity autumn, if that makes any sense. It smells so good. So I figured I would have a candle on the entryway table as well, because why not? To clear up some of this storage space issues that we're having, we just don't have enough storage in that entryway, and I want it to be cute storage and not just look like a pile of shoes and dog leashes and all that stuff. I got these 2 baskets that were on clearance for like $10 each. These were $30 baskets, $10 each. The last thing I got is this huge mirror. I think it's like 30 inches in diameter, and it was only $60, which I am shooketh. Like, I was looking on Amazon for mirrors like this that were the same size that were literally $80 to $90. So that was the entryway all set up, but I'm so happy with how it came out. And then I have another home update. Actually, let me show you these boxes. So I have these 2 boxes that arrived yesterday. I ordered these off of Amazon, and they're the new nightstands for our bedroom. So we have these nightstands currently, and I'm not gonna lie, I hate them. I hate them a lot because it looks very cluttered, it doesn't look clean, and you can see all the wires like behind it because obviously it's just an open back. I just got ones that have like a cabinet underneath to hide away some of that grossness. I have to build those at some point today. It'll probably be like later today, so I will show you the pretty after. I have new bedside table lamps coming in that are supposed to be delivered at some point. I think today or tomorrow. This first one took me literally an hour and a half to build, and the fact that I have a whole second freaking nightstand to build. Hello. Guys, it's like Christmas. I swear I ordered so much stuff. And these are the nightstand lamps that I was telling you about. So that's kind of what they look like. It comes with a light bulb, and these were not super expensive. I want to say they were like $25 or something like that. And I will detangle this cord thingy, and then I will show you what it looks like when it's turned on. Hello, my loves. It has been a couple days since I picked you guys up, I'm not gonna lie. However, I have some updates and I have some more home stuff to share with you. I just got a new package that came in, and this is the second to last package that I have to share with you guys. I told you we were going to be doing the apartment updates in this vlog, and that's what we're doing. So I built one of the nightstands. I still have to build the other one. There's also the new lamp there as well. So this is the, we're not going to look at the pile of clothes over here. So these are the nightstands. I'm sorry that the light is making it look a little bit weird. But yeah, this is it. It's so cute. So I have my Kindle there, I have my pile of books, and then all of my junk goes in this drawer so you can't see it. And also I really like these lamps, which I think I showed you last time, but yeah, you just tap them and it adjusts the light, and there's like 3 dimming settings. So yeah, and then you get to plug your chargers in the side. So I like it because they're easy to access, but if you want to hide, they're easy to access, but if you want to hide your cords, you just kind of tuck them behind. And yeah, with the light off, actually, I should have done that to begin with. I'm thinking, these are so tall. Like, I didn't realize how tall they were until I put them out here, and they're like so much higher than the couch. But I'm thinking that might be a potential spot for the nightstand, and then I might get the like square basket things to add more storage here. I don't know if it's gonna stay like that. So those are like some general updates. I think today, like later tonight, I'm going to build the second nightstand so that it's just like done with. The box is still sitting right here. But I have this nice big tall box to share with you guys. So this is a fake plant that I ordered. I forget what kind of plant it's supposed to be. I forgot that I had that little basket. It's like a little woven basket. I like her there better than I like her anywhere else. I think I like her there the most, but I wanted another plant for our like living room, dining room kind of area. And now we just have another plant for the bedroom, probably. I will check in when I read something. I'm on page 17, but I just had to share this quote because this book is so like subtly funny, just this main character. But I wanted to read this because I feel like it really sums up her like perspective. I can't point to any one event that resulted in my decision to go into hibernation. Initially, I just wanted some downers to drown out my thoughts and judgments, since the constant barrage made it hard not to hate everyone and everything. I thought life would be more tolerable if my brain were slower to condemn the world around me. It's very brutally honest, and it's just like, yeah, and I'm really liking it. I will also mention that if you don't like long chapters, this first chapter is 50 pages. Yeah, at page 30, I'm going to stop and then I'm going to read the first chapter of Love in the Time of Cholera. This has a very strong start. Like, I am already really enjoying this book. Okay, literally 5 seconds later, I need to just read you guys something because I'm dying. Like, this humor, like this sense of humor is my bread and butter. It makes my soul alight with joy. She's saying that she found her therapist or psychologist in the Yellow Pages, and like this was her first interaction with her psychologist that she's going to see to get her prescriptions. She goes, I think I have insomnia. That's my main issue. You're probably addicted to caffeine too, am I right? I don't know. You'd better keep drinking it. If you quit now, you'll just go crazy. Real insomniacs suffer hallucinations and lost time and usually have poor memory. It can make life very confusing. Does that sound like you? Sometimes I feel dead, I told her, and I hate everybody. Does that count? I'm fucking dead. Okay, I will stop giving you page by page narration of this. Sorry, my camera died. I will stop giving you page by page narration now, but I just had to share that because I literally love books like this, and it's been so long since I've encountered something with this type of writing style, content, humor. Anyways, I just finished the first chapter. I went and I got my nails done. And then I finished the first chapter of my year of rest and relaxation, and it's really the same updates of what I said before. I definitely like the writing style. I think it's very funny, witty, sardonic, just a total vibe. The only thing I'm curious about, like, as I continue reading this is if I'm going to like it as much, you know, like halfway and then like at the end of the book, because this is a book that doesn't seem to have a lot of plot. It's more just a character study of a very unique, isolated, snarky, kind of unlikable almost, because she's, I think, relatable to some but not relatable to everyone. But because of her privilege, she has a certain perspective, and I'm not sure that everyone is going to like that. So, and I'm not sure if I'm going to like it as it kind of continues, because it's like, okay, what else? I do really like her thoughts, because it is kind of a stream of consciousness, but sometimes those can get boring, right? If there's not, like, you know, things that happen to kind of keep you interested. So now I do think I'm going to switch to, oh my god, I just looked up how many pages are in the first chapter of Love in the Time of Cholera, and it's also 50 pages. What is this? I don't think I've ever encountered 2 books back to back with long ass chapters like this. But okay, what I think I'm actually gonna do, I'm interested in this book enough to kind of just continue on with it. So I think I'm going to try to finish this book before I start Love in the Time of Cholera, because I feel like these 2 books are extremely different vibes, and I'm vibing with this right now. I am more than halfway through my year of rest and relaxation. I never thought that this book was going to be a fast read for me. If anything, I thought this was going to be one of the slower books for me. I'm just obsessed with this writing style. I'm not even minding that these chapters are some of the longest chapters I've ever encountered. The last chapter that I read was over 60 pages. I'm glad that I started annotating it because I feel like that's helping me take the time to like think and process about what's going on, because this is a book that I don't just want to fly through. It is a book that I want to make sure that I'm kind of analytically approaching what's happening and looking into the underlying messages and themes. I think that this is going to be a 5-star. That's how it's feeling in my heart of hearts at this moment in time. Earlier, I had mentioned I was a little bit nervous about how this book was going to progress, because even though it's a really enjoyable read, I was worried about just the content, that it might get a little bit like slower and boring. And I have to say, 58% of the way through this book so far, I do not feel that way in the slightest, because she's not just sleeping the whole time, by the way. Like, a lot is going on, and she's talking about all of the different drugs that she's getting prescribed. Like, it's different every week, basically, of like the new drugs that she's getting introduced to. Her therapist or psychiatrist is such a character, and hearing her psychiatrist's perspective on what our main character is feeding her is hysterical. And then our main character's kind of best friend, but also she like doesn't like her that much, Riva, has a lot going on, and that really adds a lot to the story. So it is not getting boring by any means. If anything, I'm even more captivated as I continue to read it. But I would just like to mention that although our main character and her stream of consciousness is really not taking anything seriously, there are very dark themes in this book. Our main character is grieving the loss of her parents who died very quickly, one after the other, and her childhood was not the best. And so she's really dealing with, or I'll say avoiding, how she grew up, how her childhood is really manifesting in her adult life, and then also the grief of losing these parents that she never felt very connected to. All of the emotional suppression that she went through as a child, and now she's literally trying to avoid feeling anything by basically sedating herself with drugs. It definitely has a funny take on things. However, the subject matter in this book could be triggering for some people, and so I would encourage you to look up content warnings if you're thinking about picking up this book, because I think if you were not in the right state of mind trying to read this, it would be difficult. I have been underlining significant portions of pages, just like whole paragraphs, and writing thoughts in here, but I'm definitely going to read more of it today and just vibe with it, see how far I can get until I feel like putting it down. Hi lovelies, I have 40 pages left in this book, and I will say, like, maybe the last third has been moving a little bit slower and a lot of just like mundane stream of consciousness thoughts. However, I honestly think that the therapist is my favorite character in this book. Like, she is so unhinged and so funny, and the fact that she can prescribe medication to people is so comical because she is just an absolute nutcase. So yes, I have 40 pages left. I will definitely be able to finish this today. That is the plan. Sorry, I was thinking about it today, and this book really reminds me of Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi because of the writing style. Like, the stream of consciousness and how self-destructive our main character is in this book really reminds me of Emergency Contact, except this book is much more, there's no upper to kind of bring you out of the self-destructive behaviors. This is all just extremely self-destructive behavior, and from what I've read so far, it doesn't get better. Like from beginning to end, it is a constant state of self-destructiveness, whereas in Emergency Contact, there were a lot of ups and downs, and I think it made it much more emotional, which I think was the point of Emergency Contact. But the writing style, in terms of the stream of consciousness and how self-destructive our main characters are without fixing it. So I will check back in once I finish this book. Just finished. I don't think I've ever encountered a last page like this book. I have so many thoughts and also no thoughts. This was such an experience. I'm probably going to rate it off of my enjoyment factor of it, which was probably a 4-star. Sorry, I have a ambient room in the background that's like rain and fire sounds, so if you can hear that, that's what that is. I feel that everyone who picks up this book will have a very individualized experience, and I also don't think that everyone who picks up this book will like it. I liked it. I thought that our main character was deranged, weird, but deep. Yeah, this is a 4-star for me. I'm very glad that I read it. I don't know what else to say about this book. So what I think I'm gonna do is split this Sad Girl Lit reading vlog into another part, at least a part 2, so that I can finish the other books that I have on my TBR. But let me know if you would like more than a part 2. I feel like these vlogs are mostly exploring literary fiction. Again, I kind of gave a definition of like Sad Girl Lit, or my definition of Sad Girl Lit, if you will. And I just think these books are a really fun experience. Some of them are, you know, kind of a weird, crazy experience, but I know that Love in the Time of Cholera is going to be much more of an unrequited love story. The Bell Jar is going to be a completely different experience, and then I have a couple others as well that were recommended to me most recently on some reading sprints that I did. It was the August Last Call reading sprints. So I made a bookshelf on my Goodreads of the books that I think kind of fall into this category of sad girl literature. So if you guys liked this vlog, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like this to start to be a series of like sad girl lit reading vlogs, because I had so much fun with this reading vlog. That is going to be it, my friends, because I'm sure that this vlog is like 30 to 40 minutes at this point. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, friends.